This is Talking Saints, the official St. Patrick's Athletic podcast with myself, Jamie Moore, and we're focusing now on pre-season with Pats, a fantastic initiative brought forward by our community officer, David Morrissey, to basically get 27 supporters to do pre-season alongside the first team, but virtually, if that makes sense, and lots of focus on fitness, mental well-being, physical well-being, and also diet and nutrition, and also the connection of actually being with like-minded people leading up to another League of Ireland season. And to tell me more, I'm joined by a number of people involved in the programme. Two of the participants in Greg Kelly and Nathan Doyle are here, and also one of the coaches, Rob Cullen. Lads, you're very welcome. How are you?
Good, Jamie.
Good, thanks. Thanks, Jamie.
Yeah. Feeling fitter than what I was a couple of weeks ago, anyway.
Yes, of course. And we're all very happy with the start of the season for the first team on the pitch as well, with 4 points from the opening 2 games, looking ahead to another derby against Bohs, which we might talk about in a while, lads. Rob, if I start with you firstly, you might just give us an overview of what the programme was, the idea behind it, and ultimately how it all went.
Yeah, sure. Like you said, it was Dave Morrissey had come to myself probably early in the year just to see if it was something that we'd be interested in getting involved in. So my own background is a little bit in nutrition, but more just around going through the experience of weight loss. So seeing if we could bring some of that, to the table. And some of the lads would have known me when I was 20 stone as well. So it's I'd say it was easy for them to sort of connect and say, oh yeah, that's the guy that used to be that size and now he's this size, so he's been there, done that. But the program itself was, it wasn't a competition. It was to bring Pat supporters together for the six weeks before the season, to get them a little bit healthier, a little bit fitter, to support each other, to encourage each other to eat healthy, do a little bit of exercise. So we had Noel and Sean and Dave and myself involved. And just using simple programs. Sean put together some training sessions. Noel put together some training sessions. We worked through WhatsApp, Zoom, and Strava. So, but everybody keeping an eye on each other and what they were doing and supporting each other. And then, that encouragement and accountability at the end of the week. So it's putting together little bits of a program, if you like, to give them some sort of ideas on food, ideas of exercise. But I think food and exercise, like personal training, it's personal. So I made sure, on the food side of things, we weren't telling people what to eat. We were giving them a few sort of guidelines as to maybe having 3 meals, 1 snack during the day, or 3 snacks during the day, and maybe 1 treat in the evening. But letting them choose themselves what they want to eat and what exercise suits them. So you're doing stuff that you love. You're enjoying your food. You're enjoying the exercise. There's no point in going out for a run if you don't like running, or trying to get on a bike if you don't like cycling. And food is a bit like that as well. So it was trying to put a program together. But I think that the main thing, and I've said it before, the strength in the whole program was the people that were in it. It was the people supporting and encouraging each other. Greg would get out for a walk at 8 o'clock in the morning, which would spur me on to get up and get out for a walk, which would spur somebody else on to go out and do something else. And I think that's what happened all the time. It was just everybody just spurring each other on. And that's why it worked really well.
Yeah, interested to hear from the lads who were on, I suppose, the 6 weeks in terms of how you found it. So if we start with you, Greg, your own experience of I suppose, from when you first signed up. And I remember when the idea was sent on to me by Dave Morrissey, I think we were hoping for between 7 and 10 people to do the program, and we had almost 30 on it in the end. So how was it for you from when you first heard about it to starting it to going through the 6 weeks?
Yeah, that was, I'll tell you, it was a nice journey. It was a very good journey to be on. When I first got the email, or when I first saw it out online, I wasn't 100% sure what it was about. But I just thought, look, anything to help involved with something during lockdown, I said I'd sign up. So signed up through email, got a few more details, and I got a bit worried, thinking, oh my God, what have I let myself in for? Because all Dave kept saying is you're going to be doing what the players do for pre-season, getting ready for the season. It'll be 6 weeks. My first thought was, this is going to be intense. Do I have the willpower and the time to do it? But as we came closer to the first day, so the first day was the start, with all of us meeting on Zoom. I said, look, I'll give it a go as far as there and go from there. And I tell you, from the first 10 minutes on the Zoom call, I thought, actually, this is something I can do. Because I think, as Rob was saying, the lads, the coaches, Niall and that had set out a program. And it wasn't a program where, you were strict, you had to do X, Y, and Z. It was, your goal for the week is, so for example, Niall would give us a walking, running, or cycling goal. for the week, you know, and the whole idea was to walk from Richmond Park to a football ground or football grounds. That's played over the years. So the first one we were given, I think, was Sligo. And of course, then for my first thought was walking. I haven't done much walking lately, due to COVID and stuff. It's not something I would go out and do. But when I found out it was 24 to 27 of us and we split it between us, it made it an achievable goal. I think the first week we had to do 10 kilometers each, spread over a week. So that encouraged me to go out and start doing the walking 3 or 4 times a week. And then we had a WhatsApp group set up, which I have to say was one of the best things we did. All the participants, you know, tell you I've gone out and done 5K or 2K or I've ran whatever distance. So you could see, as I think as Rob said, and just to clarify, I never go up at 8 o'clock and did a walk, Rob. And while I enjoyed doing the walking, I don't think I got up early to do it. But there was people that did, and it did encourage you, because you'd be going to work or at home, working from home, and you'd see this message say, just gone out and done 3K on my lunch, and you think, actually, I've got lunch coming, I can do that. One of the best things we did was the food. It made me rethink. I enjoy cooking. I like cooking at home, but it did make me rethink of what I was doing food wise. So instead of grabbing the quick snack, pizza, frozen pizza or something, I actually sat down and went, "Oh, you know, what am I going to have for dinner?" Got the ingredients and enjoyed cooking. But one of the best things about it was just like Rob would put an idea up, and someone would say, "This is mine." And it would be, you know, what Rob had put up or what one of the other participants had put up, and it might look the same, but they would look, taste nice, or certain people going in and trying meat-free days of having no meat, and getting the, you know, the laugh and the crack we had from that was brilliant. But the journey from start to finish, I have to say, and I've continued it for 2 weeks. I haven't done as much walking since we stopped, but I'd set myself personal goals of losing weight. I know it wasn't a weight loss program, but I smashed all the goals, and I've lost even more weight since we finished. So it's one of these things that started something in my life, and hopefully everyone else's, and I've continued it.
Yeah, and we'll certainly talk more towards the end about what people hope to do after the program, because, you know, the 6 weeks was so positive. But as you said, we're now 2 weeks after it, and a lot of people have still continued. For you, Nathan, how would you sum up your own experience on it?
Yeah, it's obviously when we done it, everybody was on their own path, I think, and they done it for their own reasons. And when I was listening to some of the guys saying why they done it, I was a little bit like, on the first week, like, oh God, I only really done it just to obviously to back up an initiative that the club has done. There's been some great work going on in the club and around the community. So to see something like this happen, it's never been done before in the club. So I just pretty much wanted to make sure the numbers were there and to do it. But as Greg said, after probably about 10, 15 minutes of the first Zoom call together, I was like, God, now this is going to be good. This is going to be enjoyable. Just seeing all the familiar faces and hearing that it's going to be a team group, you know. So I'd be pretty team orientated, and knowing that we have just say a 10K goal to hit, I had to make sure I reached that, you know. I didn't want to let anybody down. I didn't want to let the side down. Where if I was to do stuff on my own, I can sort of, you know, I can talk to myself about things and take accountability. But now I have to be accountable for others. So it just wasn't an option. And in terms of hitting goals and things like that, that was the main thing towards it. And plus, Jamie, a big one for me is I'm living out of Dublin the past couple of years, and through the pandemic, I think we can all agree it's very easy to become disconnected with a lot of stuff. And I've come disconnected a little bit, you know, from home. I haven't been home since Christmas now, which for some people that might not seem like a big thing, but for me, you know, a big family person, you know, it's a long time. So to see familiar faces that I knew, like I knew a lot of the guys, even just to see, so to see them faces and to have that connection with the club and with Inchicore and with Dublin as a whole was absolutely vital during some months, and it really kept me going through a couple of days where you didn't really want it. As Greg said, you know, you could wake up, you'd see people are active in Strava, they're active in the WhatsApp group, and all of a sudden, you know, like I better get myself into gear. I can't let the side down.
Yeah, and it's lovely to see that your St. Pat's gear is with you wherever you are in the world, Nathan, as well. And I think that's something I was speaking to Rob on the phone earlier on, and I wanted to ask him or ask everybody on the call about that, the virtual connection that we've all become so used to in the last year, really. And, you know, I would have managed under 19s through the pandemic last year with Niall and with John Donoghue and Sean Fogarty actually. And we did similar with, Zoom calls, and they were doing Strava runs, and we were doing FIFA tournaments and quizzes. And I know I felt, even though I was in my own house, that I still had a connection to them. And I was lucky enough to be able to watch back all of the Zoom calls that you guys were on across the 6 weeks. And just, as you said, to see the faces, to see the WhatsApp group, to see the Strava, even though everybody was in their own 5K and in their own house or their own local park, Rob, they were actually also together as a group.
Yeah, and that was a big thing as well about bringing people together and that connectivity, because we're not down at the games, because we're not seeing each other, every week. And a lot of us, again, working from home, stuck from home all the time. And it's the knock-on effect of the pandemic. So it was a way of bringing everybody together. And just, we know there's going to be knock-on effects of the pandemic an awful lot, longer after it comes and goes, and where people's mental health and I'm always talking about mental health in the day-to-day job, and everything we do on a day-to-day basis starts up here. Like, you have to be in the right mindset if you want to go out and do that exercise, if you want to lose a bit of weight. It all starts in the head. So it's being in the right headspace, but bringing people together to support each other is really important, and keeping us connected. And it kept us busy for the 6 weeks anyway. It definitely kept me busy, but it keeps you busy in a good way, in that you're active, you're looking on the WhatsApp group, instead of scrolling through social media, you're looking on the WhatsApp group for that inspiration, for that, what's everybody else doing, what's everybody else having for dinner, any ideas that we can have. And there was always questions coming to and from, different participants as well. And everything seemed to go in the group. Like, I was getting a few personal things and done a few one-to-one calls and sessions with the guys as well. But generally, everybody was open, which was brilliant. I tried this, or what will I cook with this, or asking Sean about exercise, or asking Niall about something as well. So everybody was open as well. And we all just felt like one big group, which was brilliant.
Yeah, it seems for lots of people who've been at home for the last year that actually spending more time preparing food and thinking about food, as in what they want to eat and stuff, speaking from a personal point of view myself, I've really enjoyed actually having home cooked meals most nights for the whole time, and learning to cook new things. And for you guys as well, watching the calls and stuff. And I think from listening earlier on to Greg, he was speaking a little bit about, the different types of bits that you learn to cook. And because you have the time as well, you're not in the office, or you're not out every night a week. And of course, we do want to be back in the office, and we do want to be out at our own training sessions and matches. But to actually, Greg, have the time to put into thinking about meal prep and cooking is something that I know you guys all really, really bought into.
Yeah, no, definitely. I suppose everyone throwing ideas and you're replacing certain foods. It's so easy just to throw a bit of pasta on and make a quick spaghetti bolognese and just keep doing something similar to that every night, filling up on too much carbs, not thinking about your eating because you haven't got the time yet. The pandemic is, I suppose, it's one good point of it. The more time we have in the kitchen, so you can actually decide, look, instead of cooking certain, I'm going to add veg instead, and you take the time to prepare, and I actually find that the food, the meals taste much nicer. You actually take the care of preparing it because you have the right ingredients, and not just throwing something together and eating it because you're just in from work. The kids have to do their homework, or whatever is going on in your life. It makes a massive difference, definitely.
Yeah, and as well, one of the things that was, I suppose, different, because some other organizations and clubs have been doing stuff similar as well, but for you guys to have actually been on the Zoom once a week, and also to have had a first team player with you each week to talk about their own lifestyle, their own diet, their own, I remember even Sam Bone talking about his recovery and the Epsom salts in the bath, and Lee Desmond was on, Robbie Benson was on, John Mountney was on. All these are top athletes, but also top people, Nathan, and to be able to hear how they live their lives, and then also maybe to be able to ask them some questions with regards to their own, their own life, but also pre-season, how it's going, how are the new signings settling in. It was a nice way for you guys in a small group to be able to connect to the first team players.
Again, it's going back to that sense of community that's not only within the WhatsApp group and the group that we were involved in, but that's what the league is, isn't it? That's the League of Ireland. It's a community in itself, and a lot of us are missing going to the games because of the social aspect. So yeah, that to have that was absolutely brilliant. And in fairness to the lads, I think we'll all agree, every one of them that came on was so approachable, so friendly. There was Like there was, you know, sometimes you can meet and there can be a little bit of ego, and in fairness, there was none of that. They were the nicest guys you could ever imagine. And while like I know we're all adults and like it's probably gone past the age of looking up to people, but like these are players, you know, you pay your hard-earned money to see, and you respect them. You love what they do for the club. You love what that they wear the badge of pride. So to see them just pop on and be so approachable and help you with any questions you may have, whether they might even be stupid questions in your voice. Like I think I was asking Jamie Lennon about like chicken wing places or something like that, and in fairness to him, you know, it was straight away with answers. And so to see them be that approachable, and it was so good to see, you know, and it really does galvanise that sense of community that the club is having at the moment.
Yeah, I enjoyed certainly listening to the lads talking sometimes as well about their cheat meals, and it's interesting to hear an elite sports person talking about, well, if we do win on a Friday and I've eaten well all week, like any other person who eats well all week, at the weekend, you know, you're allowed to have your cheat meal or your treat, Rob, as you mentioned. And it was interesting to hear, you know, listen to some of the lads about after a win on a Friday or Saturday, if they're off on the next day, that they allow themselves to stop off at the chipper or the Chinese on the way home.
And I think, like, I was surprised. I mean, I remember week one going back and I was trying to convince everybody of the 20 or 30 different porridge recipes that I have and sharing them on. And I think it was falling on deaf ears with some people, and some people attempted them and they looked, and I'd say tasted terrible as well. But for week one, I think it was Lee Desmond, like, was on straight away. His favourite food was porridge, and he was... I think nearly every single one of the lads that were on mentioned that they eat porridge, and it's kind of great. You're looking at, you know, some of the lads obviously are older than us and some of them are younger than us, but it's like, now, see, I told you, look what Lee Desmond is doing, look what Robbie Benson is doing, and you're trying to say to these, you know, pupils, if you like, or these, you're really looking upon them as children, say, look, you have to listen to what these guys are saying. These are eating this type of food as well. And even the lads that were having cheat meals, and I was trying to emphasize in some of the nights, like, these lads are running 15, 20 kilometers every day. So I don't think you can have a pizza or wherever every night. You know, you can have it once a week, no problem. But I think it was really encouraging to hear the lads, because I think the League of Ireland can get a bad rep that, you know, they're not really professional. You don't take it too serious. You know, they're still out boozing, they're still out eating. But the lads didn't come across like that at all. They're lads that were really had great attitude towards, you know, fitness, towards, you know, looking after themselves, and they were like extremely professional in their approach to food, nutrition, you know, exercise, keeping themselves fit. And yet they might, even when some of the lads were asked, you know, off season what they were eating, you know, they kind of had, especially I think Jamie Lennon was mentioning that, like, it's 24/7, it's 12 months of the year, you look after yourself all the time. And I think that came across really well, and it was encouraging for other people to see and hear as well.
Yeah, we have to mention as well a lady called Mary Roach, who's on all the calls as well, who is a life coach and, you know, added some excellent expertise and insights for everybody on the programme as well, to all the lads and the ladies who were on it. Lads, just finally to bring it back to St. Pat's, and the programme was called Pre-Season with Pats, and, you know, one other thing I really enjoyed was being able to see, and I was only watching it as an observer to try and get some clips for social, but to see everybody in their different spots, but in their different Pats gear, and, you know, St. Pat's people as a group, and even at the weekend there, the stadium empty, but still everybody knew, and you speak to Alan and Stephen and the players, and they know the support is coming from everywhere, even though it's not there. The Shed and Invincibles put together a brilliant display, so much work done in Richmond to make it look fantastic for the first home game, and that's because of it's the power of St. Pat's. And I'm sure, Nathan, yourself and Greg, as two supporters, I'm sure you felt that through the programme.
Yeah, big time. And I know I harped on about it, but it is a community, and you can really feel it. I think you feel it more through testing times, don't you? I think it's easy to come together when you're doing well, but like when things aren't going to plan the way they are now, like the world is an absolute mess, I think that's when you really see people step up, and you're seeing it with the fans. You know, we're seeing fans from all over the world on match days having selfies up on social media, head to toe in Pat's gear. Like I said, the Shed and Invincibles, he decked out Richmond Park. It looked absolutely fantastic, I thought. And yeah, it really is. And it's a pleasure to see, you know, and it does make you proud as a fan, you know, because we're all sweating to get back into the grounds. We really are, you know, like every time I even see a photograph of Richmond Park, I'm eyeing up my little spot in the Camargue, and I'm like, I'll be back there one day. But look, it's everything that's been going on with the club through the pandemic. I've been really proud to be a Saints supporter, and I've been really proud to fly the flag and to see what the club is doing.
And for you, Greg, something similar?
Yeah, definitely. I look at myself and my son goes to all the games, try to get as many away games as possible. So it's just something that's been missing from our lives. This 6 weeks has really helped. It's a bit like, taking what we used to do years ago when I started following past with the likes of Ozo and stuff. You'd meet them before matches or after matches in McDowell's and stuff. Has been lost for a while. This has sort of brought it back in with meeting the players. The players coming onto our Zoom once a week is brilliant. I have to say, every single one of them were a credit to the first team, to the club, their advice, their stories, and how they bought into our participation was brilliant. And hopefully, seeing 20 odd fans participating in pre-seasons actually helped them, especially the newer players, realise what a special club we actually have. And what the club actually means to the supporters. Like, it was an honour for me to join this programme. I have gained from it immensely, in a positive way with my fitness and my health, but also that link back to the club, the fact that we can't stand on the Camet, or I sit in the main stand with my son beside the SEI lads, and that we can't be there on match days, has brought us a little bit closer to the club in this off season, because we were able to participate and link in with them. And one of the things that I noticed with the players was they seem to be talking about our participating at training, because Desmond was the first on, and then like he told us what pre-season, they were only a week into pre-season. He was telling us what it was like, plenty of running, trying to get fitness back up. By the time we got to say Jamie Lennon, and who was saying, yeah, I was talking to Robbie Benson who told me this, and they were all talking about the training, and that's just what makes you feel like, there is a connection hopefully between what we done and what the players done. We'll see the players benefit hopefully over the season. And as you said, the start of the season's been good. They have to be happy a win and a draw in their first 2 games. And hopefully we'll see their progression as the season goes on. And they've seen a dedication we've had, would be nice.
Yeah, they sure have. Rob, lastly to finish, and from listening to you guys for the last 25 minutes, it does seem that the 6 weeks wasn't just a 6 weeks, and once the last Zoom call finished, that was it, that people have, whether it be something to do with their diet or their exercise or their connection to St. Pat's or a couple of new friends they met on the program, that this is not something that after the 6 weeks will just finish, and that hopefully, touch wood, each individual person would have taken different things from it, and they will hopefully be able to continue to use them. And who knows, this program might be able, to continue virtually, or continue every now and again, or this time next year, even when things are back to normal, that it can be something that has been a fantastic start for people to really kick on with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we always started it off like that it was going to be pre-season, but leading into, further down the line. And I know, look, it's all about consistency. Whether you're looking to get fit or lose weight, you have to keep doing it all the time. So it's all about consistency. It's about, the difference between knowing something and doing it. We all know what we should do to lose weight, to get fitter, to be healthier. It's actually doing it on a consistent basis. And I think the 6 weeks sort of builds it in people's minds. It creates habits and good habits, and it creates that community as well. And look, we're still posting in the WhatsApp group, we're still encouraging people on. People are still posting their weight loss, every week. So it will continue, I've no doubt about it. And look, people's lives are going to change from it. I've been a beneficiary of that, over the last few years, having lost all the weight. And I know what it leads to, and the energy it brings you, and the results you can get further down the line because of it. And I know from talking to the lads that it will, and they're not going to, none of them are quitters, which is great. So they're going to keep going, and they're going to, lose more weight, become healthier, get fitter. And in the meantime, keep that connectivity with other people, other fans as well, which is brilliant.
Yeah, great stuff. Well, that's Rob Cullen, one of the coaches, and well done as well to Sean Fogg, Noel Cully, Dave Morrissey, the community officer, and also Mary Roach, Greg Kelly and Nathan Doyle. Thanks for jumping on. And I know everybody in the whole WhatsApp group was so engaged with what went on over the 6 weeks. So I must say it seemed to go fantastically well. So hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for jumping on for the chat, lads. And we do hope to see you in Richmond at some stage soon when this government of ours allows some supporters back in to cheer us on.
We might get Greg standing on the comeback now.
Oh, yeah, sure, why not? Definitely. Jamie, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to us.
No problem, lads. Thanks for coming on to Talking Saints. We'll chat to you again soon. Cheers.
Thanks.